Hey, Teresa. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I'm going to apologize up front for any background noise. This is the best I could slick my hair back coming off the boat, but we have lots of people out in the main living area. So if you hear background noise, I apologize. This was the quietest place I could find. So how are you guys tonight?
Good.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to go over kind of some basics with you guys. I want you to feel free to ask questions as we go. Just unmute yourselves and ask away. I want to make sure that I'm giving you good information that you need. And I always encourage people to get on boot camps 2 or 3 times with different people, because you're going to hear things said differently, and you're going to have a different level of awareness every time you listen to a boot camp. And so you're going to be able to ask more questions that pertain to where you are during that process. So I will start by telling you my name is Jill Halligan, and I am your upline somewhere on our team. I live in Sugar Land, Texas, but I am originally from Hayward in Iowa. And so I know most of your uplines. We grew up together. My story with Plexus is a little different than most. I started the products thinking I was going to get a refund. I'm an assistant principal at a very large elementary school with super tough kids. And so I was stressed out, had all kinds of health conditions, super busy mom with 2 overly active children and a husband who coaches. And the short version is that I tried the products. They worked for me. And I felt very called to share the products. And as I started sharing them, Plexus started depositing money in my account, and here I am with a business. So that's the short version of my story. But I am really passionate about sharing the products because they've worked so well for me. It'll be 2 years that I've been on products in April. So I continue to see new health benefits the longer that I'm on the products. So I'm going to jump right into some of the basic stuff first. If you are brand new, make sure that you have set up your pay portal. That's really, really important. If you have not activated that, they will not go back and make it retroactive. So let's say you sign preferred customers or an ambassador and they want to deposit money in your account. If it is not set up, they will not go back and resubmit that payment. So make sure that you have that pay portal up and running. The other 2 really super important things, and they sound silly, and I will tell you probably 80% of people hear this over and over and over again and don't do it until they're at least gold. And I wish that I could go back and have them do that. Develop your why. It is so, so important. I cannot tell you how many times your why is going to change, but you're going to lean on that so much. Whether you are fearful, I know I was fearful because I didn't need another job and I just felt very called to share the products, and I kept leaning on my why. And my initial why was I wanted the people that I loved and cared about to feel as good as I did. And so I wasn't going to take no for an answer, essentially. My family and friends, and we'll talk about this more later, but no meant not right now. But that was scary. None of us want to be judged. But I just knew that I had something. If they would just listen to me, they would see great results. And so it's super important that you develop that why, because it's going to change. My husband is also a coach, an elementary teacher and a coach on the side. And so living off 2 teacher salaries, things are always tight. I just started Plexus, and I think I was just about hitting gold when my son started making travel baseball teams. And for those of you, I don't know how many of you know how that works, but it is Wednesday to Sunday every weekend from May until about here in Texas until end of September. 4 to 5 nights a week in a hotel room, hotel fees, tournament fees, plane tickets, eating out, all of that. And so Plexus came at the perfect time for me. And then that became my why. And so my why has changed lots of times. Part of my why is the self-development that we get here and being around amazing Christian women who want to build each other up and be positive. That became part of my why. So it's really super important that you find just a little tiny nugget, nothing huge. You don't have to, want to save the world. You can want to make $50. You can, want to have fun and have something that's just yours. We have lots of people on our team who do this because it's just their thing. They're not anybody's mom. They're not anybody's husband. You get to just be Jill. So really spend some time figuring out what your why is and share that with your upline. And that helps them to help you remember what that is when you're struggling. The second one is to make your Franks list, your friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids' friends, and service organizations. And what I tell people is literally make the list. I have my list around here somewhere, written out on notes, paper notes. And it helps me so much to be able to look at that and go, okay, it's time to 531. I need 5 people. Who are those 5 people? When those names are in front of me, I can do that so much faster than if I start scrolling Facebook and then somebody posts something and then I don't know, but I have 15 squirrel moments and I forgot why I even got on Facebook. So that list is super important. You'll continue to add to it as you go, but take the time. I promise you it is well worth it to sort of develop your why and to make sure that you have a working list of people that you can reach out to and contact about the products. The next part is really dependent upon how you're choosing to approach the business. So if you just want to get your products covered, you may or may not want to post. You may choose to message friends. You may choose to meet people face to face. It just sort of depends on, what route you want to take. But what is super important about that is whether you're going to post, whether you're going to message people, whether you're going to just talk to your friends and family about it face to face, or whether you're going to do all of those things. It is super important that you share your process with your upline so that they understand what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do right now, because there are lots of ways to do this business and there are lots of ways to start where you are and grow from there. So it's super important that you kind of figure out, where do I want to start, and then share that with your uplines. Typically, most people start with posting on Facebook, and then they start adding some messages. And then, and you may be meeting face to face with, your super good friends and close family, but then you start reaching out into more face to face. And your uplines can help you with posts. They can help you, and I'm going to go over this a little bit too. They can help you find other Plexus people on our team to be friends with on Facebook, because you don't have to make up every post. You can take other people's posts, tweak them to be your own, add your picture, and save yourself a lot of time. That is okay in Plexus. That's not something that you need permission to do. It's actually, we consider it a compliment. If you're looking on Facebook and you see someone used a post that you made, that's a super big compliment in Plexus. So it's going to be important that you add some sidelines. I will give you some names as we kind of get through this. But just know that that's an important process, is figuring out how are you going to reach out to people. Continually add friends on Facebook. I don't know how many of you know this, but if you go to your suggested friends, those people that Facebook is suggesting will stay there until you remove them. So if you hit the remove button on those people, Facebook will regenerate a new list of friends. And so you can constantly, even if you're not adding, you might delete the whole list sometimes, but go in and look at those friend suggestions And if they are absolute no's, remove them from the list so that Plexus can repopulate their suggestions with new people. If you have not already downloaded 2 apps, you will want them. One is Buffer. It's an app that helps you to post your posts ahead of time. It is not ideal. If you can post live, do that. Buffer is a necessity for me because I work long hours. On a good week, I'm working 50 hours a week. So I do post some of my posts into Buffer, and I try to do it at times where I can then be active if someone comments. So I may do 4:30 in the afternoon, or 6:30 in the morning, or 9:30 at night. But my posts are typically put into Buffer because I don't know on any given night if I would have the time to construct the post. Does that make sense to everybody? Because with the new algorithms on Facebook, you want to make sure that if someone comments on your post, that you are able to comment back within 15 minutes. That's going to push your post up in the Facebook algorithm so that more people see it. So if you're having to use a posting app like Buffer, make sure that you're picking times where you are able to respond and check your phone in that 15 minutes or so after it posts. And then WordSwag is the second app. WordSwag is where you will see when people do cool graphics and they put text and things over the top. That's WordSwag. So that helps with, just adding things about like the belly buster challenge that we're doing, things like that. And it's fun to kind of play with that a little bit and learn it as you go. So those are 2 really, really important apps that you need. 531. 531 is the core of your business. I always tell my downlines, if you don't do anything else in the business at all, there are 2 things that you need to do every day. That is reach out to your upline, whether that's text, voicemail, phone call, and do your 531. And what 531 means is you're going to reach out to 5 new people in whatever manner works for you, face-to-face, messenger, text, a phone call, whatever that looks like. You're going to reach out to 5 new people. You're going to follow up with 3 people that you've already reached out to, and you're going to do 1 training. So training can mean lots of things. It can mean a 5-minute phone call with your upline. It can mean listening to a video that you saved into your phone. For me, that training piece comes, I have about a 15 or 20 minute ride to work. And I will watch a video. I will listen to a video from Facebook on my way to work and typically on my way home, because most of the big training calls are about 40 minutes. So I listen to them every single day on my way to and from work. That is my training piece. Team calls, cool things that I might see. Like right now I'm doing a lot with Instagram. Those all count as training videos. So something that you do every day to train yourself is the one of the 531. There are lots of pretty sheets. 531 is, we refer to that as IPA. It's called income producing activity. If you are doing your 531 every day, those things are producing income. If you are like me, I tend to want to buy really pretty folders and get organized, and I go through 5 different notebooks, and I've been through an index system, an index card system. I've gone through lots of things. Getting yourself organized, as much as we all love it, is not income producing activity. So the bare bones of your business is reaching out and doing your 531 every day and contacting your upline. Even if it is a simple text to them that says, got my 531 done today, or I'm really scared to reach out to this person. It does not have to be a formal conversation. Just cluing them in with what you're up to today so that they can help you if something comes up that you need their help. So those are super, super beneficial. You guys have any questions about that part? That's sort of the guts. The rest that we're going to talk about is likely to become conversational stuff as you have. So I just want to stop there and make sure if anybody has any questions at this point that we ask those now.
Jill, could you explain the algorithm and what times of day that we should be posting?
Yes. Okay. So the Facebook algorithm changed probably about 2 months ago. So there's a ton of rules. There's literally like 10,000 rules. But the main things that you want to focus on is Facebook wants us to be genuine in what we're posting and how we're posting. So they want engagement. So if you are doing live videos, that's going to boost your engagement score on Facebook. And what that engagement score means is that more of your Facebook friends actually see your post. Very few of them are seeing it. And the way that you know that is if you go through your feed and you're seeing the same people all the time, that's when you know you need to do something to jar yourself out of that algorithm. A lot of times I'll post a live video of my kids playing sports or anything that I can do, because I don't have family in Texas. And so when I'm posting a live video, my family in Iowa gets to see my kids playing sports, but it is also reconfiguring that algorithm. If you are doing an outside link, like let's say you're going to do a link to maybe an article on probiotics, you want to put that in the comments and not in the post, because they want to keep you on Facebook. So do a post, put a little picture in, and then in the comments, list the video. Anytime that you say things like sell, products, things like that, they have trigger words. But really what I would say is starting out is to use other people's posts until you kind of start figuring out what those algorithms look like. It's much easier to save posts that you like from other people and implement those for yourself. So we'll get a training scheduled. I'm going to write that down about the algorithms so that you guys have a better idea what that means and how to avoid it. But again, there's 1,000, literally 10,000 of them. And we just do the best we can to kind of work through them. If you, comments are more important than likes or thumbs up. A heart, a love gets you a higher score than a like. So if you're going to see each other's posts, it's important that you get people to comment on those posts. So when you have time, commenting on someone's post gets it much more, gets it a higher engagement score than just a thumbs up like, those kinds of things. And, it can't be your full-time job to do all of those things, but if a post strikes you, know that taking the time to comment on it is going to be super beneficial to that person. Any other questions about that stuff? Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about the smart sign up process, because it's super important that you guys know what that process looks like, because you want to build a very balanced business. So smart sign up is deciding, how do I know when I have a potential? How do I know where they should fall? Are they a preferred customer? Are they an ambassador, a wholesale ambassador? And how do I know that straight out of the gate? And so this takes a little time. But typically, if they are willing to commit to 90 days on the products that they purchased that first time. So let's say they purchase the Triplex and the X Factor Plus. That's a pretty basic package that most people do. If you talk them through, those are the products that they want, that is 100 PV, then they need to commit to that for 90 days. If they don't commit to that for 90 days, or if you don't think they will, they are a preferred customer. And I will tell you guys, I did this to my own sister-in-law, and she lives down the street from me. She's more like my sister, to be honest, because everybody wants the best deal. But when you give someone a wholesale ambassador, a wholesale account, you're giving it to them for 1 year. So if they order that first month where you get the $25 welcome pack, and then the next month they're like, I don't think I want the Triplex. I'm going to just do the ProBio 5. You don't make any money on them at all. If they were a preferred customer, you would at least get the PV from the ProBio 5. So I drill them on that. I will say to them, no, you're committing to me for 90 days on the Triplex and the X Factor Plus. Well, I don't know if I can commit to 90 days. Then you are a preferred customer. And as soon as you're willing, as soon as you see the results you're looking for and you are willing to commit to those 90 days, then I will upgrade you to a wholesale customer. And I started that way. Kelly Godwin, my upline, said to me, I need you to commit to 90 days on the products that you ordered because they take that long to work. Remind them this is not medication, it's supplements. So you have to get through the detox process first before you're going to start to see results. So typically when I explain it that way to people, they will say, well, if the products take 90 days to work, why wouldn't I commit to 90 days? I don't know. Why wouldn't you? Let's sign you up as a wholesale ambassador. If they understand that, those are your wholesale ambassadors. You want your business to work on a 90-day cycle. So for every preferred customer that has been consistently over 100 PV for 3 to 5 months, you want to offer them to upgrade to a wholesale account because they understand how the products work. They're happy customers. Happy preferred customers make the best wholesale ambassadors because you don't have to check in with them all the time. They know how the products work. They're getting results. Upgrade them so that you can start building your business long term. Preferred customers are fast money. Ambassadors are long-term money. So you want to have that cycle of, I want a good chunk of preferred customers so that I'm getting those PV and product bonuses every month. As you start to build those, you want to upgrade so that you start to get, I think preferred, you get PV and your business building bonuses. But when you go and start adding ambassadors, you open up about 4 or 5 more of the 11 ways we get paid. So your goal is to have both ambassadors and preferred customers, but you want to make sure your ambassadors are sticking with you, because if you upgrade ambassadors and they drop below 100 PV, you get nothing for them. 0. They're just a big old white line in your back office. So, and that takes some time. It's not anything anyone perfects, but you will start to gauge people over time. I told my sister-in-law, I don't believe you will commit to these products, and so you're going preferred. She said, I want it cheaper. Then commit, sister, or you're going preferred. It is what it is. And she did end up committing, and she's been on them 9 months now. So it's just helping them understand why that wholesale discount is there. It is not there because Plexus is a kind and giving and loving company and they just want to give away their products free. It is there because they are committing to long-term use. If they are not committing to long-term use, preferred is still a deal over retail. And that's what I will tell them. Until you can commit to long-term use, you are not paying a retail price. You are still getting a discount on preferred over retail. Do you guys have questions about the smart sign up and preferred versus ambassadors and all of that? It's kind of confusing in the beginning, but the more that you work with it, the easier it becomes. No questions on that part? Okay. If you haven't looked at your welcome packs, please pull those out. The catalog is super useful and the product cards are super useful. I carried that pack of product cards in my purse for months because probably the first 6 to 8 months, you're going to start, if you're posting consistently and 531ing consistently, you're going to start getting random messages from people that just say, so how much is the pink drink? Well, that's a loaded question. It's $82.95 if you're preferred, or it's $71.95 if you're not. So you kind of want to have that in your back pocket so that you can start the right conversation. So pull those cards out. It has a ton of information on it to help you start that conversation. with a potential who really knows nothing about what it would do for them, but they're intrigued. And then you can jump on threads and, get some more detailed help to help you answer their questions. But those product cards are a great first start when you're looking for some basic information. Okay, the next one is to friend your upline and your sidelines. So I train everyone on PinkPack that you should friend your uplines 3 above you. Because those are going to be the people who are running contests for you, that are helping with incentives for you. So let's say if you're on Gretchen's team, you're going to do Jamie, Stephanie, and me. You can also go above us and do Kelly Godwin and Lindsay Bryant, Rebecca Williams. She's our closest diamond. Although Lindsay's getting very close. Lindsay will be a diamond here shortly, I'm guessing. But don't be afraid to friend those people. They will know that you are in the Plexus, in their Plexus organization, and they will friend you. So don't feel like you have to meet them in person. Some of your sidelines. So Adrienne Hicks is one of our sidelines. She's a professional dancer. I love sending people to her because she sort of has that athlete take on things and how, these products have helped her. She's 31, I think, and she's still a professional dancer, ballerina, all kinds of different dancing. But she has a great take on a lot of those things. Sarah Peoples is another sideline that is super important to friend. Most of you are probably friends with Stephanie Mundy. Robin Jones is another good one. She has a lot of product information, but if you guys want to know specific people to friend, please feel free to reach out to me and just say, hey, I'm looking for some friends that might, have young children or have teenagers or be in athletics or whatever you're looking for. Just shoot me a message and I will help connect you with some sidelines. But if you see people on Silver Stars and they're intriguing to you, reach out to them and friend them.
Jill?
Yes.
I understand upline, but sidelines is the first time I've ever heard that. What is that?
So sidelines are the people that are not in your direct upline, essentially. So all of you are sidelines with each other. Monique Degatere is not, most of you on this call are Gretchen, Jamie, Stephanie's, Mundy's upline. Monique Degatere is another one of my level 1. So she would be a sideline for all of you. So you are all on PinkPack, but you're not in a direct, the same leg of the business, essentially. And those are really great people to reach out to and work with because you can run with sidelines. Robin Jones and I are both in Lindsay Bryant's. We're in 2 different legs of Lindsay Bryant's team. We met when I was silver going gold, and she had just gone gold. We're now both senior ruby pushing emerald, and we have done almost the entire business together. Just having someone to reach out to. We were excited to meet each other for the first time at convention. We'll do contests together, and I'm going to start a Power Partners group on PinkPack because I think we're big enough now. It's time for us to start, doing some of those things. So when you hear sideline, it's people that are outside of your immediate team.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going to take a quick note here. If you have not done the voicemail feature on your phone, I would really encourage you to try it. Start it with your uplines. So when you have to talk to your sponsor, try the voice messenger feature, the little microphone in Messenger. You can send 20 messages in the time that it would take you to do 3 or 4 typing them out on text. You will see I'm a horrible ummer. I say all the time. And so I started it just talking to Kelly. Now I can do follow-up messages with that and send one every 15 seconds or every 20 seconds. So that will cut down on some time. The other thing is it reminds people that you're reaching out to them. They get to hear your voice. They remember that you're their friend. It makes it a closer connection for them to hear your voice. So if you've reached out to someone and gotten crickets a few times, reach back out to them using the voice messenger feature, because it's an immediate connection to people and it saves a ton of time, Follow up. That's the 3 in the 5-3-1. Follow up is huge. 80% of sales happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. 80%. And I can tell you guys, just this week, because we're getting into spring break and everybody wants to look good for summer, I have been messaging people for 2 straight years, and they have never, not one time, responded to me. This week, I've gotten 2 of them to commit to use the products, because I'm reaching out to them. We can talk about lots of ways to start follow-up messages. Sometimes I just tell them, hey, we're doing a belly buster challenge if you're interested. Sometimes I will say to them, I'm just sending up a smoke signal. Are you still there? Because, I know this is your number. Hello. It just kind of depends on how you know that person. Sometimes I'll say, I call it my bless and release message. If I've texted them 8, 10 times and I'm not getting a response, I will send them a message that says, I am not trying to be the crazy plexus lady. If you are not interested, please let me know and I will take you off of my list. You will be shocked. In 2 years, not one person has asked me to take them off the list. I typically get, oh no, I want to stay on the list. I'm just so busy. I'm so sorry. And I will respond with, would you like to know when we're running a sale? Absolutely. Stay in touch with me. So people are super busy. And so we start making up ideas in our heads that they're not responding to us because, and then we fill in all the blanks with all these things that are about us. And it is so not about us. I mean, one of the things I say all the time is I wish that Facebook Messenger, that I could rebold those messages like I can my email. Because once I listen to it or once I open it, I can't go back to it. It just keeps scrolling through this like unending list of messages that I get, and I forget. I mean, and there's even times I posted once, because it is my life. I posted a message one time that said, if I did not respond to you, it is because I truly believe I did in my head. In my head, I wrote it out. I said what I needed to say. Yep, I sent that to Teresa. I told her whatever I needed to tell her, check. And then I go back and by golly, I did not, because it didn't get bolded. And that's just how people live. We all live that way. So don't put those negative things in your head. Follow up is where you will build your business, because it's where you prove to people that you are not selling them something. If you were selling them something, you would send them a message and you would cut and run. Think about all the times people have sent those messages to you and you ignore and you never hear from them again. Most of my level 1s have come to me because I didn't give up, and they knew this girl believes in this company. She uses these products. She is not just trying to make a buck. And I think that most of you can say that as far as Pink Pat goes, we're not leaving people behind. When you sign up, you're just starting that relationship with us. We are not looking for you to sign up and then run. You're never get that, we're not that company that you're never going to hear from us again. That becomes a whole new relationship and you go on their health journey with them. So I think that's super important, that if you are not wanting to be that salesperson, if that's a fear of yours, follow up is super important, because if you're not following up, that is exactly what you are presenting to people, is that you are trying to make a sale. The more that you interact, the more that you follow up, the more that you assume good things, the more those people will appreciate your follow-up and sign with you. The other thing I will tell you about follow-up is to know your vitamin. I say that a lot. Know your vitamin. You are going for no's, because very few people are going to give you no's. And I will even tell you with a no, I'm going to make a bold statement and tell you, even with a no means not right now. It means that life hasn't gotten tough for them. It means that they have not made themselves a priority. It means that they have not had a health scare. No means it's not important in my life right now. And so always, always, always leave that door open. You thought of them because they were in your life before plexus. They will be in your life after plexus. So always make it about them and always leave that door open, because it is so important that when life happens to them, whether, God forbid, that's a health scare or all of a sudden they realize I need to make myself a priority, if you closed that door, they will not come back to you. They will seek out someone else. But if you make it okay where they are and you love them where they are and you tell them, that is okay, sister, when you are ready, you come back and see me. I am not going anywhere. When they have to tell you no, they're able to then come back and say, okay, I'm ready. I just went and got my blood results and I'm pre-diabetic. I need help. That is so much easier to do if you've left that door open. So go for no's. That is your goal. Be excited about them, because you will get very few. Very few. I think I've gotten less than 10 no's, like straight up, no, thank you, I'm not interested. Less than 10 in 2 years. Because people will see your reason for reaching out to them and they know you're genuine. All that other mess we put into our own heads. Let's see. If you have questions about compliant posts, I'm going to say the same thing that I said about algorithm, the Facebook algorithm. Use other people's posts in the beginning. The FDA does not regulate our products, but it does regulate our marketing. So we cannot make claims to heal or, all of those kinds of things. Your uplines will be checking those things for you. We do have a compliance department with Plexus. They are the compliance police, but they are our friends. And so sometimes, it's never happened to me, but sometimes they will get a hold of a post that may not be compliant. You would get an email that just says, this was not a compliant post. Can you please go back and fix it? And they'll tell you why it wasn't compliant. For example, if I'm going to post about my daughter's eczema and how much ProBio 5 has helped her, I can't use the word eczema. I have to say skin rash. You can't say things like cancer, but you can say disease. I'm trying to think of some other ones. You can't say heartburn, but you can say the fire in my chest, those kinds of things. So, and typically they search compliance by hashtags. So if you're not certain that a post is compliant, don't use hashtags and you should be just fine. But if you're questioning, there is compliant material in the back office that you can use, because there's always that fine line of, you want to share someone's testimony. It's my testimony. How can that not be compliant? Typically we do share them. We just make sure that when you see, I remember seeing one when I first started and I sent it to Kelly and said, what on earth is this? Because someone was talking about, they had many years of infertility issues and she became pregnant after starting Plexus. And I remember, instead of saying I'm now pregnant, she said I'm with child. And I just remember thinking, well, she's like 24. That's a strange word. Like that's a different generation that would say with child. She used with child because it was compliant. So those kinds of things. And like I said, they're typically not shooting for any of us lower ranks. They're typically looking at diamonds and sapphires for things like compliance. But I did want you to know that that is there. And that you want to make sure you're not, making false advertisements about products or people's stories. Let's see. If you are just trying to cover your products, lots of you are dabbling in the business, you kind of want to see where it's going to take you. That's where we all start. If you know that all you want to do is cover your products, it is super important that you make sure that you are sending three-way messages between your preferred customers and your wholesale ambassadors and your upline. because many, many people will not get through detox without that health coach. So if you are not signing up to be someone's health coach, and when I say health coach, that means you're checking in with them every single week. Sometimes more than that if they're diabetic or they have IBS or they have colitis, those things that get a little trickier, you're checking in with them more than once a week. If you do not want to sign up for that, that is okay. But it is your job to make sure that you are connecting your people to your upline so that they can do that with them. So if you have never done a three-way message before, when you go on Facebook Messenger, I see Maria's phone on here. I can add Teresa and Maria in the same message. And typically what I will say in that message, and I send it for every new ambassador I sign, goes in a message with myself and Kelly Godwin. And what I put on that is, hey, Teresa, this is my friend Kelly. She's been taking the products longer than I have. I just wanted to make sure that you had a place where you could come and ask questions where there's someone other than me to answer. You know, I'm working all day long. I didn't want you to have to wait. Kelly is a wealth of information, and we want to make sure we answer your questions. We also would love to hear your celebrations. Can't wait for you to get started on these products. That's typically what I will put in that three-way message. And typically, Kelly simply responds with, I'm excited you're here and I'm happy to help if you need me. Most of those threads we never use again, ever. But it does allow people to go back to that place, and they know how to ask. Okay, you gave them an outlet to ask a question. Now I'm wondering where this skin rash came from because you told me I would probably have dehydration headaches. That is also a part of detox for some people. So you want to encourage them to ask questions. And so by preempting that and expecting them to do so, it takes away some of that, well, what do I do now? Is this skin rash detox? Like, what is that about? Maybe I should just stop taking products, right? And it'll clear up. So preempting that with the three-way message is super important for all of you, but especially if you are just trying to get your products covered. Every single person that you sell a product to needs to be connected to someone that can help answer their questions on a consistent basis. Not to say that you're not able to answer them, but if you're not committing to that once a week, make sure that you've connected them with someone who can, so that if you're not responding, they know who can help them. Do you guys have questions about that? No, y'all are a quiet bunch tonight. Okay, just a couple other things. If you are looking for swag is a great way to get people to ask you about Plexus. Water bottles, hats, t-shirts. There's like a million stores on Etsy for Plexus, and most of it is super cheap. Etsy, etsy.com. Etsy is a web page with tons of individual vendors, and it's like they each have their own individual online store, and you can go there and buy things. You can buy business cards on Etsy. I think I got mine on Etsy. Super fun stuff. I carry a water bottle. I have t-shirts. I have hats, because it is always a point of conversation. Someone will say, well, what's Plexus? Or even if they know Plexus, do you sell Plexus? Actually, I do. Yes, I'm a Plexus ambassador. You know, so if you're hesitant to start face-to-face conversations, get yourself some swag, and it's an immediate interaction. I even have, my kids have water bottles that say Plexus on them, because I want that to be, they take products, and I am proud of the fact that they take products, and I want people to see these products are safe. I give them to my own children. Look, Adley Halligan is walking around with a Plexus water bottle. That's a big deal to me, that people know that these products are safe, just like the products that are in their store, safer than some of the products in the store. So that's a way that I am sending a very clear message that I believe in these products. My kids are using the products. The last thing that I want to talk to you about is the training piece on both Jumpstart and Silver Stars. Some of you might be on Silver Stars. Jumpstart is the new page that you will go on when you become a brand new ambassador. It goes over the basics. It goes over some detox. It goes over pay portal. Make sure that new wholesale ambassadors are on that page. It's 2 weeks. Even preferred customers. I will tell you, I've put some of my preferred customers on there because they are going to be ambassadors. They just don't know it yet. And I want to be able to, what I call drip teach to them some information. I want them to see how easy the business is. I want them to see that you get paid on your own orders and why that pay portal is important for them to go in and get activated. So Jumpstart is just the basics. Who do I call when I need help? Where are those phone numbers? Pay portal information. How in the world do I change my subscription? It is sort of the nuts and bolts that everybody needs if you're taking Plexus products. How do I get help? My order's wrong. What do I do? Those kinds of things. So make sure that you're putting your people on Jumpstart, because that's going to help limit unnecessary interaction from you. And I know that if you're silver going gold, that's not a huge thing, but I promise you in 6 months, when you're senior gold and ruby, it's really great to have a place where they know how to set up their pay portal so that you're not having to field all of those questions as well. For you guys specifically, Silver Stars is a page that you will go to once you hit silver. Some of you went on it earlier than that because we were in the transition, and so we wanted to make sure that everybody continued to get training. If you went what I refer to as silver in a minute, if you went silver in a minute, meaning you signed up, you decided to work the business, you signed your mom, your sister, and your best friend, you technically went silver. However, there's still a ton of business savvy, if you will, that you need to learn before you start that process to gold. If you're on Silver Stars, that training is super important. So I am talking to your leaders about Silver Stars because I want to make sure that they are duplicating down to you what is necessary for you. Typically, Kelly Godwin is posting 4 times a week with things for you to do. Some of them will pertain to you. Some of them will not. Some of them might be bigger, things like branding. You're not going to be able to decide your brand in a week, but it is something that you need to start thinking about. So if you're not sure of which trainings to be focused on, reach out to your upline, and I'm working with them to train them to reach out to you and say, Kelly posted 4 days of training this week. I think that the most important one for you is day 2, the one about following up, so that then you can get a little more focused on there's 4 days of stuff. I'm only going to do day 2, and you can go in and do that training. That training piece is huge. Please, please, please take that seriously. That is how you're going to grow yourself and in turn grow your business. So the more that you are interacting on Silver Stars, the more your upline is going to start taking notice. When your upline starts taking notice, they start investing in you. And when they start investing in you, really great things happen for you. But that starts with you taking that leap and deciding, okay, I'm going to have to train myself a little bit. I need to do some more digging into what this business opportunity is. And you will see some of us are posting on there consistently. Some people are not, but I wanted to make sure I was very intentional with you guys about that is where your training is coming from, is Silver Stars. So this week we're doing the 12 days of diamonds. Jill Renfro, I can't remember the second girl's name. We've had 3 days of them. Save those in your phone, listen to them in the car. When you get a chance, go back to those posts and do your takeaways. You've knocked out your training. Simple as that for this week. Pull those, save them to your phone. I sometimes will do it when I'm cleaning the house. If I would typically turn the radio on, I turn on one of those Plexus calls and I'm listening to it while I'm doing dishes and folding clothes. That's your training piece. And we're getting more streamlined with your upline reaching down to you. But just know, on Silver Stars, Kelly is talking to you just like she's talking to me. I do those trainings also. It does not matter what your rank is. The more training you have, the faster your business is going to grow. So I encourage all of you to get on Silver Stars, interact. When your upline sees you interacting, they're going to interact with you, and things will start to take off. Okay? That is all I have for you guys. Do you guys have any questions for me based on anything that I said tonight? Or maybe this isn't your first boot camp. Maybe you've done another one that you kind of had some questions about based on something I said. I am happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Jill, this is my second boot camp, and I'm learning stuff all the time.
Yes.
I mean, great to hear it, because you just take away nuggets as you're able to understand them.
Right.
So this is great.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Anybody else? And if it's your first boot camp, just know we offer them. Pink Pack, I offer them once a month. Kelly Godwin offers them a lot. Our uplines are constantly posting boot camps. If you are on a page where a training is offered, it is available to you. So don't feel like you have to be invited or you have to know that person. Ellen Ford is one of my favorite trainers. Ellen Ford and Julia Carty. They're both some of my favorite trainers. Their calls can get 40 or 50 people on them very, very quickly. So you don't have to interact on calls. You can, turn your screen off. I always tell people I like to see your faces if I can, but you can mute yourselves and just listen. You don't have to interact ever on a Zoom. But the more that you get on those calls, especially boot camps, the more, like Teresa said, the more nuggets that you will take away, and you start putting those pieces together, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I got it. Okay, now I can move to that next step. Any other questions? No? All right, ladies, just know that you can use that Bootcamp Beauties thread or your team threads. I'm on all of your team threads to reach out to me. You can send me a private message. That is how we work in Plexus. Your upline is not going to be upset with you if you feel like I can answer a question for you or that they're busy. So know that I am available to all of you. Should you have any questions, if you get stuck on a message, that's one of my favorite things, just so you know. If you're like, oh my gosh, this person's a chicken lister for me, what do I say? Or I've sent this person 3 messages and I don't know what my next follow-up message should be. Feel free to reach out to me and I will help you come up with a message to get you unstuck. Those are so beneficial, and typically you hear them a few different times and then all of a sudden you start to sort of generate those yourself. So don't feel like there's anything too big or too small. You can reach out to me with any of those questions. I want to see you all succeed. So just let me know how I can help you. All right. Okay, ladies, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.